Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Shall we do it again? Little Thursday action.
The best show for Chicago sports.
Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Morning Breeze. Got a lot to get into on today's episode. Chicago Bears offseason is off to a perfect start. But will it translate? Will the Bears be offseason champs yet again and not champs when the season actually matters? We're going to break all that down, have a conversation with you guys, talk about this Bears coaching staff, all that and more on today's episode of The Morning Breeze. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate you guys for showing love. There he is. Give it some time. Give it a second. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the date is 1/23/2025. It's 7:04 in the morning. And Jordan JC, you just made it.
I did.
Just had to buy him a little time. Sometimes you got to buy him a little time, though. Sometimes you got to buy you guys a little time. Hey. Yeah. Jeez. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Mr. Media in the building, Mr. George JC.
Yo.
Appreciate you guys for rocking with us as always, man. Need y'all go ahead out there real quick and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Dang you, Doug Key. My voice didn't crack. I had a little phlegm. We're not doing this. That was yesterday's joke.
Everybody's still getting on you with that.
Hey, that's why I love Chicago, bro. That's why I love Chicago, because Chicago gonna go at you for anything, bro. I ain't even gonna stunt with you. That's a main reason why. Like, listen, as soon as I did it, I was like, here we go. Here we go.
Apparently, I look like a Black Panther yesterday, George. Look, you said I was a painter. Somebody else says I look like a Black Panther yesterday.
You look like you could have set a few buildings on fire in honor of the movement.
That's right.
you definitely look like you could have committed a few violations. And
we will overcome.
Hey, I hope so. One day, let's see if we can get there. Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got to start the show off with a little bit of smoke.
Oh,
a little bit of smoke. Got a little bit of smoke, but I don't do this very often.
That rant. Here we go.
Cause I just want people to know, man. I have people all the time send me clips of people that's hating on me and don't like me for I don't know. I really don't know.
That means you made it.
I got people all the time that's sending me these other shows that like to bring my name up on their show all the time and like to talk about me as not that guy. And I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Normally I do the whole, you know what I mean? You leave it behind you.
Yeah.
You let people lie where they at. You let them leave their bed. Right. You brush that dirt off your shoulder.
Turn the other cheek. Okay.
All I'm gonna say is this.
No.
How my backside look?
Ooh.
How my backside look? Because while I'm continuing to not pay attention and keep moving, y'all still in the same spots.
Oh.
How my backside look?
Moving in place.
Because I'm the one that said I wanted to do sports talk full time, didn't go to school for none of this, and still got on at ESPN. How my backside look?
Hey. Flex.
I'm the one that worked construction, got up working 12 or 16-hour days at work, coming home, got on this YouTube thing, said I'm gonna live my dream, and made it to one of the biggest companies in sports. How my backside look? Leave me alone.
I can't argue with you.
Leave me alone.
I saw that.
I ain't did nothing to y'all. I ain't said a word about y'all. I ain't talked about your shows. I ain't brought up how you're just mad at the world. I ain't talked about nothing. I ain't said nothing about nobody. Y'all leave me alone. Cause this the thing at the end of the day. While you mad at me for winning, guess what I'm gonna keep doing? Winning. Y'all ain't got no championships out here. And I ain't even made it to where I'm going.
Oh.
This just the beginning, baby.
Oh.
So y'all can sit here and worry about the food that's on my plate, or you can try to eat some yourself because you're looking real skinny over there.
Get some steak, baby.
Get some steaks in your body. Y'all leave me alone, dog. All right, let's start the goddamn show, man. I ain't playing with these mugs, man.
All right, okay.
I ain't playing with these mugs. I don't like doing that.
Oh, boy.
I don't like doing that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I got you, Jay Grizz. I got the popcorn right here. Oh,
I don't like talking out of body. I don't like, you know what I mean? Because listen, I'm real humble about all of this.
yeah.
I understand that it takes a process, and I understand that you got to go through the process to grow and all of that. But every day I'm getting somebody sending me something new about somebody that's talking about me. You know what I mean? Y'all worry about what y'all got going on over there. Y'all doing great. Stay beautiful. Ain't worry about these mugs out here, man. All right, let's do a little podcast, man. Let's do a little show.
Let's go.
Do a little sports talk out here. Hey, look at Alex. Look at Alex. My dude, you're not big over there. Relax. Bigger than you, Alex.
I would think ESPN 1000 is a decent gig when you didn't go to school for it, but okay, Alex. You tell me otherwise.
You see what I mean? Look, I'm on one this morning, dog. I'm back. I'm about to turn into Frying Pat out here. It's about to get ugly again.
Oh, baby. I was dying yesterday.
I can't argue with you.
To the Raiders fans, to the Raiders fans.
Yeah.
Or to the Lions fans and the Raiders fans. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, dog. That mess was hilarious.
Hey man,
bro.
keep doing you, man. There's always haters going up to the top, brother. You doing something right when there's always somebody that has something to say in a negative way. There's always somebody. That means you're drawing, you're getting attention. Somebody is hating on you. That you have to be doing something right, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be getting attention.
I already know. Listen, I already know all that. And that's the thing. I'm not worried about it. I'm smiling. I'm laughing at all of it. It's all funny to me.
Yeah. It's all good.
Because I'm like, oh, you got to nitpick me because you don't got enough to talk about.
Yep.
Because, see, when I come on my show, I talk Bears. I talk Bulls. We talk college football. We talk to the people. Yeah, I mean, we talk the King Booker world. What's going on? You stumbled upon smoke. We talk the KO Sports Talk. We talk to these mugs in the chat, man. We rock with our chat.
Yep.
We got time.
Y'all support us. Yep.
So leave me alone. That's all I'm going to say. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show and love me. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. All right, that was my little 10-minute rant. Let's talk a little sports, man, because here's the thing for me.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears have had a perfect start to the offseason. And dare I say, even going back into the regular season, you kind of have to include a little bit of it there, because you fire Flus, 5 weeks left in the season, I believe it was. And you kind of have to say, from that moment on, I'll even go back to when you fired Waldron. From that moment on, you continue to see a Bears organization that we have never seen before. First time a coordinator had ever been fired in season, fired a coach mid-season for doing bad for the first time in 100 years. From what we heard yesterday and everything that we continue to hear yesterday, Ben Johnson was the name that they wanted, that they were looking for. That when everything happened, that's who they really wanted to have as their head coach. Zeroing in on your top candidate. Him coming into the Zoom interview and saying, I want to be here, which means that you did enough, which means that you built enough, that you constructed enough for him to look at your team. Because I don't know if anybody peeped this yesterday. Everybody keeps saying, oh, well, I think he's wanted to be there for 2 years. He did not. He said yesterday on Carmen and Yurko that if he had been offered this job last season, he would not have come. If he had been offered the Bears job last season, knowing Caleb Williams was incoming, knowing that you were going to go Roma Dunes, all these other things that played out, maybe not knowing you were going punter, but he wouldn't have come. So you drafted the right guy. He said that yesterday the quarterback helps. You've built a good enough situation for him to be enticed by it. And then you opened your wallet to pay him what he wanted to get him here.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge. That's a perfect start to the offseason. Now, here's the thing. We've been offseason champs for a few seasons now. The big question that I have for the panel today, the big question that I have for everybody out there today, will it translate to wins? Will this be the time where the Chicago Bears finally translate a hot offseason to wins? I'm not saying you got to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that you got to go out there and be the number one seed in the in the NFC. I'm not saying, but will it translate to going from being a 5-win team to, let's say, a 9-10 win team? Will it finally translate to something positive?
What I have to say is that anytime that you want to try and change a standard in any place that you go into, elevate the bar, as even Ben Johnson mentioned in his presser. There's certain things that have to change, and it starts with the leaders in the room. And I think that's why I like when he was speaking, he spoke directly to the leaders of the team. You had your DJ Moores, as you mentioned there. You had, Caleb. You had Cole. You had Rome, who is an up and coming guy as well. So you had some of the most important parts of your team there to support him and to show, hey, we're on board. He also mentioned the veterans. I believe Ben Johnson even mentioned at a certain point it's going to be the veterans who are going to be the ones who lead. But until that time, it's going to take those that are in a position to lead the front office, the staff, and so it starts with that. It starts with the culture changing. It all starts with that in the building that'll translate to wins. Now, obviously, you need the talent. That's the next thing. That's the next step. Is you need the talent on the field to equal that desire and that culture change. You need the trenches addressed. You need the edge rusher. You need the offensive lineman. You need the guard, the center. Like, we know the holes that need to be filled, right? We know that those things that need to be addressed. But what I like too is also Kevin Warren mentioned even on the I believe it's Watto and Sylvie. They had an interview with him, and he said, like you mentioned, this guy's one-on-one. Since day one, he was the one of one that they wanted to talk to. He was the guy that they honed in on. And even though they did an exhausted process of reaching out to all these candidates and interviewing all these guys, he was the one that they wanted, and eventually it got done. And I credit Kevin Warren also to maybe even being more pivotal than I thought in this, because maybe he's the voice of change as well. You already know coming in, he said he wants to win. He's been a part of winning organization. He's been a part of changed organizations who have gotten to the mountaintop. So he knows what it looks like. And I think he said even outside of his obviously his job to build a stadium and things of that nature, he is also part of the football process of things as well. And so he wants to see a winner. And I think that's where it starts. It starts with the leadership up top. It starts with the culture, with the coach, and then it starts with the players on the field. And so hopefully over this offseason, I think that's when you'll see things translate to wins, when you start seeing them make the good decisions, them make those changes, them paying also, by the way, the money that needs to be paid so that you can get the talent here. That's another thing, opening up the checkbook and not being cheap and going about your business away like a big boy organization.
Yeah. No, listen, I think that there's a lot that has changed. Now I think when you talk about translating into wins, what's next? You really do sit there and not to say I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again. I said I'm cautiously optimistic coming into this season. I think that there is a path for you to go out there and add pieces to this team. Will you take that path? Will you continue to keep the checkbook open because you opened up all this money yesterday? Or I'm sorry, yesterday. You opened up all this money last year. It would be great. You opened up all this money yesterday. You opened up all this money last year for your team to go out there and add pieces during the season. And you opened up all this money last year for your team to, get better and improve, and you didn't spend any of it. You watched a bunch of guys that could have helped you on the offensive line go the other way. You watched a bunch of guys that could have helped you on the defensive line go to other teams. You were not looking to add to your team that year. And so with that being the case, with that in mind, I do look at this offseason as an offseason where there is a path for you to do well. There is a path for you to get this team in order. Are you going to take it? That's my big question. Are you going to take it? Are you going to go out there and actually spend the money to go get somebody like a Trey Smith if that's who you're looking for? Are you going to go get a Ryan Kelly? Are you going to attack the trenches in this draft the right way? Because again, remember, last season was not a season of we couldn't do it. It's a season of we didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And while I love coming into every single offseason with draft capital and money, I would like wins as well. And so there's a path for this to translate to wins. I said this yesterday on the show, right? Last night. If you address the trenches and you get the trenches right, which is something that would be a revelation, and dare I say, we'd probably give a lot of credit to Ben Johnson on that because Ryan Poles has been terrible with it. If you address the trenches and you get it right, you're talking about then already having DJ Moore in place, already having Caleb Williams in place, already having Roma Dunze, already having Cole Kmet, already having, I'll throw DeAndre Swift in there just because everybody keeps telling me if he's got a line, he'll have a running game. It'll probably be better. I don't think it'll be different. I'll throw, I mean, look, like there's a bunch of guys that you can throw in there.
Yeah.
DB wise, you got DBs out the wazoo. You got Jalen Johnson. You got Kyler. You got all of these guys on the team. I mean, linebacker wise, I know everybody's out on Tremaine Edmonds, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he has played up to snuff at all. What I will say is that it's very hard to play linebacker without a defensive line. We credit TJ Moore for all of the tackles that he gets, and he's been a phenomenal player for the price that we've paid him for. Like there's all of these pieces that are already in place where if you get somebody who can rush opposite Montez Sweat, and it looks like this offensive line market may be better than we thought if Trey Smith actually hits the market, and you got the draft capital, I can paint you a world where the trenches are fixed next season, or at least they're fixed enough to a point where Ben Johnson's system accentuates the players you have.
Oh, a little Bob Ross action, okay.
Little Bob Ross. Sometimes you got to paint the corners.
Okay.
I can paint you that picture.
Happy little trees, happy little lines.
Little mountains. I didn't even know you could put snow on mountains in some of these pictures, but look at these mountains. Like, I think that's the thing too. Like, Ben Johnson's system not only works for the great offensive linemen,
Yeah.
but we also saw it work. Now, Hank Fraley, a big part of that. We also saw it work. Get him here, Ben Johnson.
Would
We
be
also saw
nice.
it work for the lineman that came in that had to fill in when Penei Sewell was banged up. When when that Lions offensive line, when a lot of those key pieces were banged up. We see it work then too, and the offense doesn't miss a beat. Why doesn't the offense miss a beat? Because the system accentuates what your guys do well. That's why I'm excited. Even hearing Caleb Williams yesterday say, this is going to be my system. He's building the system for me. I'm tingly. I'm tingly, meaning.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little tingly. But you know what? Even going back to thinking about how we can translate things to wins. If you rewind back to last season, how many times were we close to wins? And what was the difference between winning and losing?
I mean, listen, Caleb Williams led you on probably 3 game-winning drives.
Yeah, at the very least,
all
right?
of those games.
You lost them due to certain things.
That's 8 wins.
Certain incremental things, certain small things that really matter, right? Whether it was coaching malpractice, whether it was game management, whether it was bad timeouts, whether it was players that had lack of discipline and not actually following through on their assignments. Those things matter, right? Or even the rookie mistakes, because there were times where Caleb put himself in a bad position. So, you clean those few things up. You're talking about a few more wins, maybe 4, I don't know, maybe 5 wins added on to this season. This season looks a whole lot different, or at least looks way much better. And so even going into this offseason, we know the things that we need to address. Are we sitting here saying that we're not that far off? And that's why I think sometimes the difference between winning and losing is really the small things that need to be adjusted, which is why you have to give attention to detail, which is why you need the right coach in the building that will preach and actually follow through with discipline and accountability and setting the standard and making the uncomfortable comfortable. Those things matter. Not falling off with your morals when it comes to the football game, football aspect of things. And so I think those things that matter. We're not far off as much as our record says we are. I think when you address those things like the trenches, and you have the coach that will lead this team the right way, when you have the players that are leading this team that will be more disciplined even in those pivotal moments, and you make the right decisions, you have better game management, you'll start to see the wins come in bunches.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, here's the big thing on all of this when it comes to getting the wins, especially in the division and stuff like that. You were right there. You were just outside of it. You should have had 2 wins over the Packers this season. You didn't. Blocked field goal. Maybe hey, look, the one thing we need to talk about, maybe address the kicker. Maybe we're gonna.
I love Cairo, man.
Cairo
like a.
Oh boy, dog. I'm
what do you
sorry,
call that
bro.
guy? Folk hero or whatever.
Oh, you can't call a 50-yard field goal without clenching up your sphincter, dog. I don't know, bro. Like I love Cairo. I love Cairo.
I love little Cairo, man. But I want better. I do.
But you can't call a 50-yard field goal without clenching up your sphincter.
Oh boy,
you just can't. So that's tough,
That's
right?
hilarious.
But you could have beat the Packers twice this year. You were in one of those Lions game. The other one you got your head kicked in. What was that? Was that the Stumble-Rooski? Is that? Yeah, that was dangerous.
Boy.
That was dangerous times. And then you also both games versus the Vikings, you were right there. Yes. You had the opportunities to do it. So like when you look at that scenario, it's like, okay, so you're not leaps and bounds behind in the division. The best part about it is at the end of the day, they all only played one more game than you did. Right? Like you're not miles behind in your division. You look at some of the games that happened this season. I love how we had Adam Rank on the Chicago Bears podcast yesterday. He said Tyreek Stevenson tip blocked the Washington Commanders into the NFC Championship game.
Dude, it's just the momentum of that game.
Yeah, he said he tipped, but you're right there. Then, like, there's all these moments from the season that you look back on and you go, with just a little bit smarter coaching, you're in a completely different position. With just a little bit smarter play down the stretch, you're in a completely different position. And I do believe that. I do believe that the Bears would have been in a different position if Matt Eberflus just had a little bit more common sense at some of these big moments. That leads the wins. Yeah. If you're telling me we're sitting here all kumbaya, we're hyped, we're excited, we're all happy that Ben Johnson is here, are we happy just because we got the hot name, or are we happy because he's going to make those decisions? That's the part that you got to see that will translate to wins. But with the talent that we had, those are all wins that the Bears could have had this season. And we all sit there and go, and the trenches aren't good enough. And guess what? The trenches aren't good enough. Yeah. So now it's about opening up the checkbook for some of these players that you're going to have to get in here. And I thought Ben Johnson yesterday was very candid about the offensive line. He said, listen, we're going to evaluate all of it, but there's no question that playing up against this team, the one thing that you notice is that they don't have an offensive line that can protect the quarterback.
Yeah. He knows what it looks like. I mean, Detroit, you're coming from a team that invested heavily. And time again, you brought in top first round picks. I mean, that's what it takes. You can't sit here and try to find gems every single time and be the guy that, like, oh, I got this guy that came from what Kaka High School and out of Mississippi.
What was that high school? What?
Kaka. What Kaka?
Jesus. What school was that?
Well, Kaka High School.
That school.
I'm just saying, you can't be the guy that always be like, oh, I got a guy nobody knows about, and wait till you see this guy, and then he gets ran over because he never played against Alabama and the likes of very good competition. He played against smaller schools, and so that's my thing is you need to start actually investing in top names, top players from top programs, and in the first round. Like, again, act like a big boy organization. So I think that's part of it too. Ben Johnson knows exactly what it looks like. I think he'll be part of that change as well when it comes to evaluating the talent that they want to look for on this line.
Yeah, no, 100%. And listen, I think that's going to be the big thing heading into the draft here. I do want to talk about some of these players because there's one player that keeps popping up on everybody's list, and I gotta calm y'all down. Y'all a little too hot and bothered over this. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna let's do a word from our sponsors, and on the flip side of this thing, man, we're gonna come back and talk a little bit of draft prospect watch.
Oh, baby.
As this name pops up, and I will punch you all in the face if it ends up happening. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Right after this. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold.
When a severe storm hits, hail and high-speed winds can cause excessive damage to your home. This can lead to blown-off shingles, broken windows, siding damage, and leaking inside. If you suspect your home has been hit with storm damage, contact CNN Construction today. We are a proud GAF Master Elite contractor offering free exterior home inspection for storm-related damages. C&N is a reputable licensed roofing and general contractor working hand-in-hand with insurance companies and homeowners every step of the way through the difficult claims and restoration process. We will meet with your insurance adjuster to discuss the damages to your property, the value of those repairs, and the scope of work needed at your home. Our skilled team has you covered and will leave your home looking brand new. Give us a call today at 844-415-ROOF or visit our website at cnroofs.com for a free exterior inspection. C&N Construction. We find the solutions, not the excuses.
These motherfuckers want to have beef with me. Ain't even got ad reads on their podcast. Get your money.
Hello.
That show for Chicago sports.
Come on now. What we doing? What we doing?
All the smoke. All
I
the
like
smoke.
when I get to be Smoky Pat. You know what I mean? I try to keep it back. I try to keep it chill. I try to keep it. Hey, we all vibey out here, dog. But I only got so many cheeks for you to slap. Paul, that's crazy.
Oh, pure and utter domination.
I only got so many cheeks to turn, dog. That mug, hey, what Shannon say? That's in the Bible. I ain't in there.
Yeah, my name ain't in there. You ain't seen no
Hey,
shit.
man, we just had a conversation on the Bears having the perfect offseason, and will it translate to wins? For that to happen, you have to go through the draft process and find some really good pieces. And everybody that I've seen bringing up a certain name that plays behind the line of scrimmage and not on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, quarterback?
He is not a quarterback because we have one of those already.
Okay, all right, just making sure. Fullback.
He might as well be at this point in my mind. That's how much I'd pay him. I hope that you all. I don't even know. I was going to say something wild. Never mind. I'm too smoky, Pat. Really back in. Really back in, Pat. Really back in. You about to go at people that don't deserve
You
the
was about to
smoke.
throw a power driver. You was finna do the
Listen, the conversation on Ashton Genty has been loud on social media. Now, that does not mean that it is loud in this Bears draft room, but I have to say this. And now I want to credit it. I want to start this off by saying Ashton Genty is amazing. And that is from Pat, who don't fool with running backs, right? Ashton Genty is an amazing talent. He is one of those top caliber running backs. I mean, 374 carries this year, 2,600 yards, had 29 touchdowns on the season. Like, there's nothing that you can say about Ashton Genty in a negative light. I mean, like, he is an absolute monster. Over 2,700 yards from scrimmage as well. And I think that Ben Johnson could use him well, but I think people are like seeing that season and their brain is translating that as he's the next Derrick Henry. Because he did, right? He's bowling dudes over. He's taking dudes. Oh, I'm killing you. It's over with. Get out of my way. I just want to compare measurables here real quick. Ashton Genty,
what do we got?
Is 5'9", 215 pounds. You know what that translates to in the NFL? Probably not a dude that's going to be throwing former accountants around. Not to say he won't be great in the NFL. He has amazing speed. I think that will help him, but he probably won't be the same style of back that he is in college right now, because he was literally just destroying people.
Yeah.
The reason that Derrick Henry could translate in that way was because he's 6'3", 247 pounds.
Dude is huge. He's a receiver size.
A receiver? That's a linebacker.
I'm talking about the height. I'm talking about 6'3".
247. He should be coming off the edge.
You're absolutely right. I was just referring just to the height, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Guys, I think Ashton Genty is amazing, but for one, I don't think he'll be that same guy in the NFL who's just throwing people around like small children. Yeah. These are grown men on the other side as well. On the flip side of that, everyone says, well, he drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, and that's why he may go running back here top 10. Look at the drafts before Jahmyr Gibbs, guys. Look at the things that happened before Jahmyr Gibbs, because the thing that we were saying that the Lions needed when they ended up taking Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, which, listen, I mean, you still probably should have taken this guy, but maybe I guess I can see you going a different direction here. But they had Sam Laporta already. You had your offensive line set. You had David Montgomery in the building. To me, you didn't need a running back. You had your quarterback. You had multiple wide receivers that were going to be talented. You had your pass rushers on the other side. You had, I think where they needed most was DBs. I think they really needed the cornerback help. They did still end up getting some cornerback help, but Cooper DeJean was available, and he's a monster. Yeah, I'd take some Cooper DeJean there. But even with all that said, you look around the Lions room and they were set. The Bears ain't set. And this narrative that like, oh, we could have, now the narrative is that we could have got Saquon Barkley. The Bears were in there, but they didn't want to go to that price. You don't have an offensive line for Saquon Barkley. What you gonna do? Draft Ashton Genty and not have an offensive line for him either?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't live in this world where we keep sitting here trying to spend big money or high capital on luxury positions. Plus, you've already done it. You already effed up. You paid DeAndre Swift $8 million. What is it? Is it 16 over 2? What has he got? What's his contract? Is it 18?
I thought it was three for 24. Or was
3 for 24? You might be right on that. That's terrible. You locked into that. That's terrible. You already paid for a premium position. Fix that one. And if he ain't good, figure out how to move on from him and let Ian Wheeler get in the game.
Yeah, hey, put in Ian Wheeler.
And I know I fooled with Ian Wheeler heavy. I was Tom Brady glazing Ian Wheeler in the preseason before he ended up getting hurt. I was sick when he went down. I was sick when he went down, man.
Here's my thing. Here's the reason why Detroit could draft, and you in part mentioned it, why they could draft Jahmyr Gibbs. They can go that route. Left tackle for them is Taylor Decker. His backup is Dan Skipper. I'm gonna just mention the notable names. Left guard is Graham Glasgow. Center Frank Ragnow. Right guard Kevin Zeitler. Right tackle Penei Sewell. There's no issue on that line. There's no hole on that line. That is a completely different situation than where we're at now. As much as I joke and I do love running backs to a certain degree, and yes, I've clamored over that. Me and Pat have had our jokes about going back and forth and how valuable a running back should be or can be to a
11
team.
cents.
If you sit here and you draft Ashton Genty when you know that you need to address left tackle, or you can even address edge rusher first with that first pick, I'm fine with either one, either side of the trenches. But you go running back when you just paid DeAndre Swift, when you still have Roschon, who, mind you, still hasn't really been used as much as I think he should have been since he's been drafted. That would be, I believe, draft malpractice. That would be a really bad start to you drafting. And because this is such a pivotal offseason, and you have also, mind you, another running back, which I mentioned and happening in North Carolina, that you could go for in a later round, perhaps in the second, because he's talented. He might only end up being in the second. My thing is, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Yes, we know that they like, or rather, they operated with the Sonic and Knuckles and David Montgomery. Yeah, that was a nice tandem. Great. But they could do all of those things because you had a whole bunch of maulers in front of them, creating all these open spaces on top of their natural born talent. but it's that mix. We don't have that connection. We don't have that natural born talent yet. That's what we need.
Shout out to Mattia. Said not saying we need Gentry, but he's the same size as Barry Sanders. So what are you guys talking about?
What?
He's not Barry Sanders, bro. That's the point. We don't want him to have to be Barry Sanders. That's what we're talking about.
So because he's the same size as Barry Sanders, you're saying he's going to be Barry Sanders.
Yeah, like Barry Sanders, and I'm not saying he's too small to play in the NFL. Don't take what I said as he's too small to play in the NFL. I said he's not going to be throwing people around left and right like he is in college. But Barry said, okay, let's take the Barry Sanders route.
Wow.
Let's take the Barry Sanders route.
You went Hall of Famer. Whoever
one of the 5 running backs that I'd pay. Let's take the Barry Sanders route. Barry Sanders retired because he didn't have a front line.
He didn't have a line. They didn't go nowhere.
Barry Sanders retired because he had to go 10 yards backwards to go 15 yards forward. Oh, I don't want that. Give me a line. What? Did we just say Barry Sanders and Ashton Genty in the same conversation?
You could have started. I would have accepted. Amsterdam. I would have accepted Bucky Irving. You went all the way to the top to one of the greatest running backs that had no line in history.
Like I don't know where we got there. I don't know how Barry Sanders popped up there, but
all right.
I wasn't saying he's too small to play in the league.
No,
what I'm saying is I don't want him to have to. You're not in a position to go draft a guy like that, and he's probably not going to be the same guy that he has been in college. But I may be wrong.
That's not even the point. And okay, man, there's a lot of glazing for him in the chat. Saquon 2.0. Okay, fine. Even if he and to me, no, he doesn't play like Saquon. If anything, Hampton plays more like Saquon. Like these comparisons are getting a little out of control.
Yeah, he's not a receiver really at all.
No.
Saquon is 2,000 yards from scrimmage.
They don't play,
and 1,000 of those are receiving. Ashton Genty is what did he get receiving this year? 138 yards from scrimmage. That's a very different comparable than Saquon Barkley there. But it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. I didn't want Saquon. People are looking at the results. But here's the thing. People are looking at the results and saying that's who that guy is. Yes, it is who Saquon Barkley is with that offensive line.
Right, the talent with the line.
Saquon Barkley that could do 2,000 yards from scrimmage with a bad offensive line died 4 injuries ago.
That's true. Giants.
Yeah. He was that guy.
Yep.
They broke him. Look at his last year in New York. Look at his last year in New York where you're sitting there going, he just don't look the same. Doesn't look like he's got the same burst. No, he's getting hit 4 yards in the backfield and still finding a way to make a profit. This Saquon Barkley, did y'all watch it? Go back and watch that game. Go back and watch the touchdown where he breaks it deep. Watch the tape on that.
Mm-hmm.
Not touched. Not even a dude grabbing at the jersey. Not even a dude like even near. Oh, I got you. Almost had you there. No. Like it's a different world when your offensive line is set. Now, if we had the O-line fixed, if we were coming into this season and we were talking about having a legitimate pass or a legitimate pass rush on the other side, having Caleb Williams with a pocket that he can stand in, similar to what Jalen Hurts is. You know what my dream is? Give me that Jalen Hurts pocket. You seen that? Give me that Lamar Jackson pocket. You seen that? They standing back there. They just mother like, oh, well, time holding the ball too long. Look at them mugs. How long they holding the ball? Oh, well, I got you. Let me step over here real quick. Oh, I'm back, baby. Hold on. I still got time. Mm-hmm. Did you make that sandwich yet? Let me get that. Appreciate you. Oh, there he is. Like that's my dream for the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Give this young man a pocket that he can stand in, and then we can worry about the running back position that we probably can also find in the 5th round, and I'll be mad when we draft somebody too high. But I said this on the air the other day, dog. If I can look around my room and we've got the Philadelphia Eagles team, I will be the person banging the drum to go get the hot running back.
Yeah, of course.
Because I don't have nothing else I need.
Yeah. Now it's just best player available. Now it's just drafting the best guy. Like that's when you go have fun in the draft. And by the way, we saw Ryan Poles kind of do that the last year and see how it happened. See what happened. He got cute with the 4th round. I'll admit, sure. I'll say Torrey Taylor was a cute pick. I still think he was a good pick, but he was still a cute pick. Obviously, when you draft a running back,
time you see Bucky Irving break a 50-yard run.
Shut your mouth.
Okay, my bad.
You shut it up. I know. I would have liked Bucky, but my thing is, yes, that's when you get cute. That's when you have fun. That's when you say, okay, let's just kind of relax a little bit and just see, how the draft falls to us, and then we get somebody that we may need in a certain position. But when you have something that needs to be addressed, it absolutely needs to be addressed. You don't get cute. You don't play around. You don't go for another position that you already have filled. That's just not smart business. Ryan Poles has already admitted that he did it backwards. It's not time to do things backwards this year. This is the year to move forward. This is the year to actually do it right.
Yeah, no, 100%. By the way, while we're sitting here, over 100
What do we got?
over 200 in the chat, over 300 in the chat.
Hey,
Brianna. There he is. That's
good morning. Good morning.
That's my show.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot that the Bears can do here at the end of the day, and I'm excited for what this offseason could bring. I'm not here for the Ashton Genty conversation. This is really all I want to have on it. I'm sure when we do our mock draft, Drew or Kid or somebody will make a case for him. But we got to fix this trenches. We got to get these trenches right. And I think that's where all of this starts. And dare I say, it's time to start breaking down our draft prospects, my boy.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's time for the offseason.
We're going to keep this thing moving along. We're going to start breaking down some of these top prospects, start going through some of these names that are out there, because there's an opportunity to fix what we got coming up here, and that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Stay tapped in with us over here on the Windy City Breeze, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, as y'all always do, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review for Mr. B himself, Jordan J. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love.
Peace.
Sitting there trying to talk crazy. I'm with it, dog.
You put some respect on Pat's name.
I don't even need you to put some respect on it. Just stop saying it.
You ain't saying just leave me alone.
I don't need you to respect me. Just leave me alone. Why am I a part of your show?